Welcome to the airport that built a new airport.
Why would an airport build an airport? In this video, we'll find out, and more importantly, what's in it for you. Welcome to the first new hub of the 21st century, the new SLC.
Hello and welcome to Airports Revealed, in which we explore airports around the world. I can think of no better place to be and to check out right now than Salt Lake City, where they've just opened a brand new terminal, something that really doesn't happen all that often. At least here in the United States. So I hope you'll join me as we check it out. My name is Jeb Brooks from greenergrass.com. I'll be your host. Let's get into it.
Stepping off of a jet bridge into a new place is always exciting, but even more so when it's into a brand new building. Naturally, I was drawn to these big, beautiful windows to capture one last glimpse of the Boeing 757-300, the flying pencil that brought us here. Can you blame me? But my eyes were quickly drawn away to take in this new space. The all-new Salt Lake City International Airport replaces an outdated and undersized terminal with wider concourses and taller ceilings. It even improves taxi times to make connections more efficient. There's a lot more to this project than just a terminal. There were roadways, parking garages, rental car facilities, and so much more, but I'll leave that for another video. This new terminal is heads and shoulders above what it's replacing. In 2014, the airport redevelopment project began. By 2016, construction was clearly visible. The terminal was in place by 2018, and Concourse B was in position by 2019. Soon, all the old buildings will be torn down and the airport will have completed its transformation from finger piers to linear concourses, more like Denver, Atlanta, and others, albeit without a train here. This design is better in so many ways, but more about that in just a minute. September 2020 marked the first flight to depart from the new space. It was the aptly named Delta Flight 2020, a 757 bound for Atlanta. It departed to a water cannon salute. Let's take a closer look at what this new terminal aims to replace. The old concourses are linked to the new terminal by moving walkways, at least for now. Delta's regional operation and some of the other airlines continue to operate out of the old concourses while they wait for the entire project to be completed. A lot of this old airport was designed and built between the 1960s and 1980s for Western Airlines, who had a hub here. In 1987, they merged with Delta, and that explains Salt Lake's status as a Delta hub today. My most vivid memory of this airport are these signs. I really don't like them. But believe it or not, my feelings about the signage was not a sufficient reason for the Salt Lake City Department of Airports to build a whole new airport. A much more compelling reason ties to the finger pier concept I mentioned earlier.
These alleyways served as choke points, which was one of the reasons to upgrade the terminal. Of course, the big problem was how seismically ineffective this particular building was, and to rectify that would have cost essentially the same cost as a new terminal. So why not build something better with improved traffic flow, better passenger amenities, and so forth? And that's exactly what Salt Lake decided to do.
The whole project cost about $4.1 billion. The good news is that everyone gets a taste of what's to come for Salt Lake, since everybody leaves the airport through the new building. What do you say we go see what kind of airport you can buy with that kind of cash?
Let's explore this brand new terminal.
The project took nearly 6 years to complete, and the results, if I do say so myself, are pretty impressive. An airport like Salt Lake must take into consideration two types of passengers. The first, origin and destination traffic, or O&D, are those passengers who either start or end their journeys in Salt Lake. The second are transiting passengers. Airport designers recognize one of the unique components of Salt Lake is that there are an unusually large number of big groups who accompany some of that O&D traffic, namely missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is headquartered here in Salt Lake. That means they build a larger than average greeting room for these guests. Upstairs, passengers departing Salt Lake are in for a treat. They're welcomed by cool, crisp lines punctuated by sharp, bright lights. The departures hall feels like a modern and appropriate place to begin any new adventure. We were drawn back, behind the ticket counters. There, we had a bird's eye view of the centerpiece of the airport's new, massive art collection. Called the Canyon, it's visible to passengers entering, exiting, or transiting the airport. And it's hard to miss, too. It's meant to evoke Utah's distinctive landscape, and that it does. It's one of many pieces of art, like its neighbor, the Falls, which at 3 stories tall is a massive glass sculpture that welcomes arriving passengers and serves as a final goodbye to those departing Salt Lake. You're able to learn about each piece of art thanks to helpful QR codes stationed within easy reach of each one. We were ready to explore the airside of the new terminal, so we quickly checked in.
After checking in, you head downstairs, which is a little unusual, but what's cool about that is when you arrive, you're on the same level as your bag, so you're not welcomed to a new city in a basement, which is a step up in my book.
There are plenty of security checkpoints, and we were through TSA in no time at all. The building achieved LEED Gold level certification, which is not easy to do and requires a great deal of advanced planning and coordination among all the players involved with the build, especially one this big. It's here at this sort of intersection of passengers arriving, departing, and transiting where the scale of the space really becomes obvious. This is a truly spectacular structure. But not everything's perfect. Despite the massive windows, maybe this is because the construction's incomplete, I just really couldn't get good views of airplanes here. Now, it practically goes without saying, but opening an airport in the middle of a global pandemic is not the best idea. But who could have predicted our current state of affairs back in 2014 when the Department of Airports broke ground? Anyway, things will return to normal. This terminal transformation had to happen, so here we are. I was pleased to catch a glimpse of the 767-400 that would take us back to Atlanta. We'd arrived early for our flight back to Atlanta, which meant we got to see 2 separate arrival and departure banks. The space seemed large enough to support the influx of passengers. What it's like in those elusive normal times, though, that's yet to be seen. However, when you compare this old concourse with one of the new ones, you can't help but recognize it's a massive improvement.
A lot of people don't realize airport carpet, it's kind of a big deal. What you'll notice about really well-designed airports is that in areas where you're walking, it's not carpeted. It makes it easier to roll your bag. When you get to the gate area, on the other hand, there's carpet there. It makes it feel a little bit more homey, a little bit more comfortable.
Soon, a walkway to the north concourse will open up, but it was unavailable during my visit. Passengers are never more than 150 feet away from a bathroom.
This is the largest and newest Sky Club in the Delta system. I can't wait to check it out with you, but that'll be in a future video, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.
There's no doubt about it. This new Salt Lake City International Airport is a tremendous leap forward. From its more efficient terminal design to its improved amenities, this is what airport designs should look like. There's several new and updated airports coming, from LaGuardia to Los Angeles and many more, and we'll be exploring all of them in Airports Revealed. Between now and the next time, see you at the airport.
Hello. You're 6 stories tall. One of the $3.6 billion. One more thing about airport carpet.
Let's check it out together.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. Let's check it out together.